Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra, and with the pandemic-related restrictions now firmly behind us, the great Indian wedding season is taking off with gusto. Confederation of All India Traders has actually estimated a total of 32 lakh weddings in this month-long wedding season that has begun on November 14th, will be on until December 14th as well, and where it expects to generate a business of a whopping 3.75 lakh crore rupees. Now, many experts do believe that the industry, although still underdeveloped and to an extent unorganized at large, is actually emerging as an important wealth-generating sector of the economy. Joining in now to discuss the demand scenario and how the entire wedding business is shaping up is a special panel of experts. With me, I have today Mr. Praveen Khandelwal. He's the Secretary General of CAIT joining in. Avnish Anand also joins in. He's the co-founder and COO of CaratLane, and Vikaas Gutgutia also joins in. He's the founder and managing director of Ferns N Petals. Welcome to all of you. It's great to have you with us on this very interesting discussion that I'm about to start off. Let me kickstart this discussion with Praveen, I want to understand from you, how has the season kick-started for the traders and for the business community? And is the industry really looking to get back on track after the setback that we actually saw in the pandemic? Are we actually going to do much better than the pre-pandemic levels?
Absolutely, Sakshi, because we have seen the worst days in 2020 and 2021. Now in 2022, there are much more than days. If we calculate from now up to July 15th. But when we are talking about the figures of 32 lakhs and 3.7 lakh crores of expenditure, it is restricted only to a period of 40 days.
Correct.
And in 40 days, we are, before the season, we carried a survey in 35 cities of the country, including tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and most of the people, those who avoided marriages in 2020, 2021 for one reason or the other, now they are in enthusiastic mood. And that is why this whopping figure of 32 lakh marriages in just 13 days.
Yeah.
And with an expenditure of 3.75 lakh crores of rupees, and the kind of rush what we are witnessing in Delhi and my fellow colleagues are witnessing in other parts of the country. It will not be strange if we cross 4 lakh crores of rupees by 14th of December, when for 1 month there will be a rest for wedding season. And again from 14th January to 15th of July, there is going to be a massive wedding season.
Okay.
And now we can safely say that earlier it was considered that Diwali season is the biggest season for the traders and for the public. But now wedding season is equally going to be as good as Diwali season. And our traders across the country are very much prepared with new designs, innovative things, and so many other things. And as I am joined by my other friends on the panel, they also have innovative various things. And this is going to happen. It has already happened. It will go to happen very shortly in the country.
Okay, so bullish outlook there for the wedding season. Avnish, let me come to you next. Now, what we've seen as per the latest Just Dial Consumer Insights report that's just come in, and that has indicated that the demand for two sectors, especially the banquet halls and for the jewelry sector, is at an all-time high. Are you also getting that sense?
Actually, yes, actually, and Aapne mentioned the pandemic. I think the industry has come, a long way from the pandemic. I think we had a good year last year as well. This year also has been a very good, the Diwali Dhanteras period itself was really, really good. And I'm aware that most of the national branded jewelers have had great growth. The overall industry has also done well. And I can say that, the wedding season also, as Khandelwal ji said,
right,
is going to be a big one. I can already see, various signs of that. Although we are not so much of a player in the wedding category, but you can see, a lot of jewelry of our type of jewelry still gets bought for the other things during the wedding, right, for gifting, etc. So we are seeing a decent trend over there, and it's much better from the pre-pandemic period also. So a lot of growth happened, and we expect the next 3-4 months also to be very good.
Okay.
Other signs, just to give you a sense of the jewelry industry, see, there is so much store opening happening. If you follow the news, right, everybody is opening stores left, right, and center in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they are all seeing business, right? Which is why they are investing so much money into opening stores all over the place. To look at digital marketing data, there's so much competition. So it's the real estate people and the likes of Google and Facebook also are making a lot of money in the jewelry industry as such, because everybody is making these big investments because there is a lot of demand. And
Yeah.
they sometimes tell me ki, which way is the market going to go depending on the gold rate. What I've seen is that when the gold rate increases, even then people buy. When it falls, then also people buy.
Yeah.
So it's a very evergreen category which people buy for multiple reasons. And I think all in all, it is really helping have a very bullish demand for this category.
Okay, let me take it across to Vikaas now. I mean, Vikaas, how Avnish pointed out about the gifting and, where his concentration is, I think your concentration is also moving towards gifting, and you're expanding beyond the flower requirements and the decoration department requirements as well. But that major part also is a huge chunk when you talk about the wedding demand. Help me understand, how is the demand shaping up for you, and as a sector as well, as a whole, what is the kind of expectation in terms of where is the maximum demand really coming in as far as both gifting and flower decoration requirements are concerned?
I'm saying you can already see me smiling, and this smile has come after 3 years. It's been a very tough period for people, especially the wedding industry, because everything was shut, and there was a lot of pessimism that will we ever see those big fat wedding days again?
Yes.
And now when you're living this again, it's a beautiful feeling. I think weddings are not only back; they're back with a bang. We definitely see a increase in demand, and going further, there has been there's a very good season ahead in terms of November, December. But as per my bookings and knowing the industry very closely, January, February looks more exciting because there are more number of dates, and people are getting a lot of time to prepare, because November, December dates were few, and all the dates were blocked much in advance. So everybody had to kind of push it to January, February. So next 4 months, November, December, January, February, I think will make us recover a lot, which we lost in the couple of years.
Okay, so give me a sense of that. You said that January and February is also going to be better. In terms of comparison, can you give me a sense in terms of bookings, the queries that you already are getting? How is it vis-a-vis the last year or the year before last when it was COVID, and the pre-COVID levels as well, just to give us a broader sense?
If I understand your question correctly, I mean, to give a number to it, I definitely feel that maybe we'll have 30 to 40% more weddings than we had in the pre-pandemic time.
Okay, no, for you as a business also, like, what's the growth in sales that you're expecting?
Because you see, the Indian wedding market is largely dominated by Saya dates. It's everybody looks for that Saya date, which is auspicious day to get married. Now the new generation is moving away from the Saya date to the date of convenience. Now, when the Saya date is getting converted into convenience, the number of days are higher, and that reflects in higher number of weddings. So all that put together is, we are definitely seeing a growth. I mean, we'll be doing 50% more than the 18-19 period, definitely.
Okay, understood. Mr. Khandelwal, what is the difference that you are spotting this season in terms of the scale, the way the weddings are taking place this year, and compare it with the pre-COVID era as well? Has there been a noticeable trend that has emerged?
Sakshi, in 2019, the total expenditure was estimated at 2.5 lakh crores.
Okay.
In 2020, it was around 1 lakh crore. In 2021, it was around 3 lakh crores.
Okay.
And in 2022, so there is a constant increase. That is point number one. Point number two, which is very important, is that wedding, only 20% of the expenditure goes to bride or bridegroom. The 80% of the balance expenditure does not stock in one or two hands. It goes to number of service providers, which includes, of course, the banquet halls, hotels, and so many other things. Then band, baza, barat. Then catering is another very important aspect of it. Then there are so many things which are attached to. So therefore, when this whopping amount comes to economy, it keeps rolling. it is not stocking in the hands of one or two or three people. So when it comes to wedding planner, then again wedding planner goes to the market, and then again it revolves. So this is the basic difference of weddings now.
Yeah.
And it is not like that it is a season for only big fat weddings. In our estimate, we have given that 5 lakh weddings will be held with a nominal amount of 3 lakhs of rupees, because we cannot overlook the entire spectrum of the country, where we have different kind of diversity. So therefore, but in totality, if we say, the wedding economy is certainly going to grow, and people, because this wedding is the only season for a person in his life, or for the parents in their lives, to celebrate it together. But only one thing, I don't know whether my fellow colleagues will agree to it or not. I have seen a little change. That earlier the people were calling, say, they were inviting around 500 people. Now that number has gone down to 300, but yes, the expenditure remains the same. So this is a change. What I have noticed in almost past 20 days.
Okay, one more point I'm asking you. You talked about, the weddings that you expect in the 3 lakh budget. What is the amount of, weddings that you actually see, or the number of weddings that you see in big budget this year? Is it a huge jump from the previous or the pre-COVID levels? Say
Of
50
course.
lakhs or a 1 crore budget kind of weddings? Yeah, okay.
Of course. See, big fat wedding can be termed as 1 crore plus, 50 lakh plus. But again, there is a little less bracket down the size: 30 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 3 lakhs. So it depends upon the sources and resources of the people, those who are arranging wedding. So therefore, it's a season for each and everybody, depending upon their pocket.
Okay, but are you seeing a jump in the bigger budget weddings or in the smaller ones? What is the trend?
India is a land of diversity. If you go to metropolitan cities, in the same city you will find big fat weddings also.
Okay.
The small wedding, a wedding in a farmhouse,
Okay.
a wedding in a 5-star or 7-star hotel, a wedding in a banquet hall, a wedding in a community center,
Sure.
a wedding in a public park. So now you cannot make sure that this is the place where fat weddings will be
No, I
arranging,
just wanted
or
to
this
get
is
a
the
sense
place,
of the percentage. It's okay. I just wanted to get a percentage of that. Avnish, I want to understand from you, this season, are people buying more gold, more diamonds? Is it more lightweight, everyday jewelry that you are more focused on? Or is it the traditional heavy ones that the people are going for? What is the trend that you've spotted?
See, I'll tell you a few things. One, see, obviously during the weddings, people still go and buy the larger pieces, right? Because it's that grand Indian wedding, right? You want to really dress up and wear those big jewelry pieces. So the large majority is still going to be there. And the reality is that India is still largely a 22 carat country, so that will still be a larger number. But increasingly you will see, and not just in urban areas, but even in smaller towns, that there is a change where people more and more want to buy diamond jewelry, right? And they want to wear that. The other thing which I can tell you is that, there is India is a very beautiful country in the sense that there is always this, I would say, a tension and also a beautiful balance between modernity and traditionalism, right?
Yeah.
And see that I'll give you the example of a Mangal Sutra, right?
Right.
A Mangal Sutra is a very wedding product, right? Which everybody wants, and every mother and every mother-in-law wants for their daughter. And it's, we have this perception of it being a very traditional thing. But we have in our own design style, right, a very contemporary style with a lot of diamonds introduced to a lot of Mangal Sutras, and they do really well, both in season time, meaning Diwali, Dhanteras, as well as wedding time. And what we see is that more and more people are buying this, although this is not the traditional kind of Mangal Sutra. It's a very modern thing. And what our customer insight tells us, that this kind of, the tension gets resolved because the daughter-in-law or the daughter also loves the modern design.
Yeah.
And the mother-in-law, the mother is also happy that it, still brings in the traditional ethos. So this, is an example of what is really happening. that more and more people want stuff which they want to wear every day. You
Yeah.
don't want to buy wedding jewelry and keep it in the locker, which used to happen typically, right, where it was ek tarah se stridhan, right, which you kept for a bad day. I think that is no longer the case. So more and more people want to buy jewelry which they can wear, which is why there's a lot of change happening, and not just this year, over the years, where people want to buy diamond jewelry, they want to buy more modern contemporary styles. And I think that's the wave which us and as well as a lot of other jewelers are riding.
Okay, understood. Vikas, I'll understand from you a little bit on the pricing trends. Is there a sense that you're getting that there are, rising vendor costs this year due to perhaps inflation and also perhaps vendors looking to cover up the COVID loss? What's the exact pricing trend that you've noticed?
I think price is derived after three things. Inflation, of course, is one of the important reasons. Second is the demand and supply. If the demand is higher, of course, the prices go high. And third, I think, of course, the post-COVID, people. But yes, but the wedding spend of a family remains the same, because what has happened is when the prices have gone higher, the number of people, as Mr. Khandelwal mentioned, has gone down by 30-40%. People call selective guest. Destination wedding is a flavor of the time. So people go outstation with limited number of people. So spend remains the same, but the number of people invited for the wedding has gone down, and prices are definitely much higher than the pre-pandemic time.
That, Avnish, the same question to you regarding the budget as well. Post-COVID, has there been a trend change as far as the family's budgets are concerned when you talk about jewelry specifically? Has there been any change?
See, I'll tell you one very interesting way to understand this. That there has been an increase in the gold and diamond rates also.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The same products price have changed, right? We have seen that, the budget more or less stays the same because people have made plans based on what they have saved, what is their income. So they downgrade a little in terms of, but they don't, buy the same piece, which means they don't increase their budget so much.
Right.
And we have actually seen a lot of data on this, that more or less the budget, people might stretch a little bit, 5-10% max, but in the sense they would buy the same value product, which actually has become more expensive. So the product they would have bought 2 years earlier is now kind of out of their budget.
Okay.
So they are buying something which is in the same price point, but because of the increase of the inflation, etc., it's a lower size product in that sense.
Right. Okay. Mr. Khandelwal, I want your understanding also on this. Firstly, the impact of inflation, the rate hikes as well during this year. Has it had any impact on the budget spends or the expenditures planned for the wedding this season? And where are people really spending most on in this season particularly? Is it the same old trend that you've witnessed, or is it a change right there? Like you pointed out, the guest list has shortened, so perhaps the per place cost has really gone down for the people. But where has it really gone up? Where are people spending more?
Sakshi, more or less, the inflation has not made any impact on the spirit and enthusiasm of the wedding. Of course, since 2019 to 2022, there is already an increase of 15% to 20% in each and every commodity. But even then, the kind of weddings, the kind of expenditure, what we are witnessing, it has not dampened the spirit of the people. So inflation has nothing to do with all these things. Secondly, as per our estimate, as per our report, which we have shared with the media and other people, around 40% weddings are of big fat weddings and 60% are of ordinary weddings up to 25 lakhs of rupees.
Okay.
So this figure is very interesting because it starts from metropolitan to tier 2, 3, 4 and 5 cities also. Perhaps in Delhi, 1 crore could be a fat wedding, but in a place like Patna, even 50 lakh could be a fat wedding, or 25 lakh could be a fat wedding. So in totality, if we see, wedding is the only occasion in any family where they don't want to put things in cold storage, and the trend of the trend of making expenses.
Okay.
Of course, jewelry is the first and foremost. Then definitely, wedding apparels is another area. Then decoration, of course, and then catering. These three, four, five things are gaining importance for holding weddings.
Okay, understood that. So we're just running out of time. So I'll ask one question to all of you, just as the closing comments. You're all optimistic about the wedding season this time around. As we go forward from here on, just like how I mentioned in my earlier comments, in the opening comments as well, how most of the experts and analysts do expect wedding industry as a whole to gradually become a more important part of the sectors or the economy that we have, and perhaps start to contribute in a substantial way to the overall growth as well of the economy. Your thoughts right there. What is the kind of growth that you see of the overall industry? How is your own sector and industry that you come from really going to really support this kind of a growth? What kind of influential role that you will be really playing over there? Starting with Vikaas, you.
I think the population of the country is directly related to the number of weddings we're going to have in the coming time. So there's definitely going to be more and more weddings, and the whole wedding market is, the problem is it's an unorganized market. So the unorganized things, when it gets organized, they start getting noticed. You have a lot more serious businessmen investing into it. So I think getting it organized, and maybe government should consider that since it's going to be a very, very important economic tool for the country, we should have a wedding ministry, which will probably take the whole thing forward in the right direction.
Okay, understood. And you're saying this right ahead of the budget season also. So hopefully the ministries will be able to hear you right there. Avnish, your comments.
See, as far as the Indian market is concerned, I think all jewelers are doing a lot to make sure that there is more and more customer demand, and customers have more designs to see, and they have more shops to go to. So it's expanding on all fronts. There are more launches, there is more marketing, there is more Instagram, there are more stores. So all in all, they are all very bullish, and they're making sure that the market keeps expanding. I'm just talking about the jewelry industry. The other thing, because you asked this question, I would like to say, that we make the maximum amount of jewelry in the world. We make the most beautiful jewelry in the world. So one thing which the government can really help with is to help expand the export business, not just selling for other brands, but for Indian brands to have a bigger, larger footprint globally, not just for NRIs, but otherwise also. The way France is known for its wines and Italy is known for its fancy shoes. Why should India not be known for jewelry, and the best jewelry brands globally should come from India? That's something that the government can really help. The Indian manufacturing industry is geared up really well to support that. We just need support in some other areas, and then India could have a much bigger role to play, and it could earn us a lot of export income as well, which could help the overall economy. So that's something which if that happens, that will be great.
Okay, understood that. Mr. Khandelwal, your closing comments as well on the kind of growth that you really expect in this industry going forward into the next few years.
Well, I expect there could be a growth from 25 to 35% in the following years, and we have already requested Government of India, the Ministry of Commerce, to declare wedding industry, the wedding economy as an industry, so that the people, those who are involved in wedding economy, must get the other supports what the industry is getting.
Just one more comment. Anything, we are just looking at how people are very worried about recession coming in 2023. Is there a concern at all for the wedding industry? Because I've always seen that, wedding industry to be seen as a recession-free industry, or will that trend continue? Mr. Khandelwal.
Yeah, Sakshi, there is a fear that that U.S. economy is going to under a great recession. And as per the reports available, U.S. government is increasing the rate of interest. If they increase rate of interest, automatically India will also have a hike in rate of interest. And in that case, then though we are not going to see any slump, because we have more than 8 crore traders, those who are daily putting cash in the banks. But yes, if interest rates are high, then we have to rethink over the figures.
Okay, completely out of time on this edition. Many thanks to all of our panelists for being on the show and sharing all these wonderful insights. Hope to catch up with all of you very, very soon to get some more insights into all of the businesses that you're working in. And all the very best to you for the upcoming wedding season and the rest of the days in this season and then in January as well. And with that, we wrap up this edition. Lots of insights on how the wedding industry is really booming, and there is a spillover effect from the pandemic and into this season as well. 32 lakh weddings, 3.75 lakh crore of the business that it is likely to generate, and a whole lot of sectors that are going to benefit from it. Thanks a lot for joining in on this edition.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.